Well, I freaking hate brake jobs. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I just want to smash everything. Okay. First off, it took me 2 hours just to find a freaking jack for this thing that would work. Well, it didn't take me 2 hours. Took me about half an hour. Had to fight to get the wheel nuts off. They weren't too bad. But that 17 millimeter bolt in there is impossible to take off. I already broke a wrench. I don't know if you can see the crack in it. Hammering on it, so can't get this thing in there. Even if I move the wheel, like even if I turn the wheel, I can't get this. I don't have the right socket. It's a 17 millimeter, but I just don't have the right socket. So I'm not going to be putting the brakes on this weekend. Oh, pain in the ass, pain in the ass, pain in the ass. So I'm going to take it to a, like when you're not set up for it, like you just can't do anything when you're not set up for it. And it's just too much frustration. So it's basically, you got to take off this bolt here in the one, I don't know if my cameras can pick it up or not, but just below it there. I sprayed some penetrant oil, but I already broke my wrench, so well, I broke one side of the wrench, but just to get it to loosen, maybe I'll leave it for an hour or two and see if that, because usually that penetrating oil usually works pretty good. That stuff usually works pretty good. Sometimes you get lucky, but I don't think I'm going to be lucky on this one. These ones are too far gone. The good news is the grommet doesn't look too bad. But the bad news is I ain't going to be putting a nice shiny rotor on there. So, yeah. Rather than risk doing more damage to it, the labor is going to be 75 or 105 an hour, something like that. So it's going to hurt. But there's not too much pad on there. I should get some brake clean and see how much is left. There is not. I'm pretty sure that's metal on metal. How am I still alive? Yeah, how am I still alive? Oh, I tell you guys, vehicles, freaking vehicles. You can see more from here, but I don't have a light. I can't see nothing anyway. Everything's so freaking aggravating. Yeah. So I don't know how much brake pads in there. Probably not too much. So I'll let it sit, let the penetrating oil sit on. But I don't want this to turn into a 2-month job. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, okay, fine, is what it is. Everybody, oh, brake jobs are easy, brake jobs. Well, when you get a vehicle that's not rusted to crap, yeah, it's usually not too bad. But when it's that badly rusted, it's just like this is like next to impossible to come off. That's next to impossible to come off. That's next to impossible. You know, like when it's rusted, it's just fused in. It's one piece of steel you're trying to break apart here without snapping anything. So what happens to old vehicles like this is when you're working on them, is you end up breaking 5 parts to fix the one part you're trying to. So yeah, but basically it's those two. You get those 2 bolts out. You don't have to take them right out, but you got to take one right out so you can drop the caliper back, spread them open with a pair, usually I use just a big screwdriver, one of those really big flat screwdrivers. Open up everything, clean everything out, take out the old brake pads, put in new brake pads. Really simple. Like the process is really simple, but when it's like this, it's just hateful. So at least I know what I'm up against anyway. So I got the parts. It's just a matter of getting the parts put on and getting somebody to do it. So, but yeah, that's a little bit too rusty. I'll try it again. I mean, I don't give up easy. But if I'm going to have that hard enough time with the caliper bolt, these rotors are going to be next to impossible to come off. And when I did the brake job on Brutus, it took me a month and a half to get that done. Just all the little stupid stuff. The main thing was the backing plate and getting the screw out of the scrapyard. If you guys followed that saga, it's just, I hate doing brake jobs on old vehicles. I just hate it. I hate it. it's hell for me, because it's you have to fight for every little thing, and it's so unforgiving. And it's different if you have a shop and whatever. It's kind of like you get like the Shady Tree mechanic types where they got a full shop. It was, oh, this should only take you about an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, but they got every tool known to man. I don't. I'm poor. I'm working with an old wrench that, and I don't want to bust these things because they're not mine, so they can't really get them in there anyway to get the leverage to crack that bolt. So, well, it is what it is. Gonna have to leave it for now. And it's just a time thing. Like, it's different if you're unemployed and you have all the time in the world to work on stuff. But when you work, as much as I do, it's like you don't have time to have your vehicle sitting there. So, is what it is. I'm going to see. So there's another expense I'm not expecting. So I got to save up at least another $300-400. For labor, just in case, like, probably won't be quite that much, probably about 2 hours. I already got a semi quote on it, but I always go with Murphy kind of angle of it. And knowing what I'm looking at, he's probably going to go take a little longer than normal to do this. Yeah, so it is what it is. I don't want to wipe out all my savings, but I got to get brakes on the vehicle. So it's like, what do you do? All right, I'm going to leave it at about that. I know when I'm beat. So different if you have all the tools and everything like that. But when you're working with this, you know what I mean? Trust me, it's not even. There's people, oh, we'll just try this. Trust me, I've done brakes enough times. There's no just try this, just try that. There is no quick fix when things are that badly rusted. It's just, you fight with it, and you fight with it. Either you get it or you don't. Different if you have a secondary vehicle to drive around for a month, waiting to get everything to unseize for you. But it's, I'll just pay the mechanic. I'll just pay the mechanic. He's got the tools. Let him deal with it. And yeah, so we'll see. He might look at it and say, no, I can't do it. I have to replace this. And I'm like, it's a $400 car, guys. So you get what you pay for. And at one point you have to figure, okay, when do you just drive it into the ground? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, those pads are pretty much non-existent. So, yeah, I can't keep driving it like this. So, but I don't have money for another vehicle. I don't have money to fix vehicle, let alone buy another vehicle, right? So it's always that catch-22 that wipes me out every single time, just about every other year. It's getting a new vehicle. Like, it is really, 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 really hard. I just can't stress how hard it is. You just slightly get ahead and then you got to buy another vehicle because you can't fix the one you have because it's so far gone that is it worth fixing, right? So I'm into it for $160, and plus the $400 for the vehicle. That's not too bad. If I have to spend another $200, maybe $300, I'm definitely willing to do that. But if they say no, I can't do it. It's up at this point. The car's in the mechanic's hands. It's not my hands anymore, because, like I say, I just can't sit here with it apart for the half the summer when I got work to do. So all my gains that I've made up to this point could be gone within a week or two, just because of something like this. And it sounds so simple, and you like, people don't see it. Like, they're like, well, no, it's just a brake job. It's nothing. And it's like, it depends on the mechanic, though. If the mechanic says, oh yeah, I've done this a million times. There's some mechanics that'll look at it and say, no, I got to replace this. I got to replace this. Your bill's going to be $1,300. Then I don't have $1,300. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping he'll just look at it and say, yeah, I can get that off, no problem. Is what it is. We'll see what happens. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, brake jobs. I hate brake jobs, and that's why. Yeah, like something as simple as, like, you can't even get started. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get started to work on it. Like, it's very easy what has to happen. But when the parts are this far gone, it's like, you got to fight so hard to get just one bolt off. And if you strip a bolt, Don't even get me started on what happens when you strip a bolt, especially in that spot. All right, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that before I get too ranty because of freaking brake jobs. Anyway, there we go.